What's up, everybody? Welcome to 1 Year to Love. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday evening. So, one of my goals for 1 Year to Love is to research tarot, the ancient, magical, mystical cards of tarot. And what I find so interesting about tarot is that it really has a lot to do with archetypes and the archetypal substrata of what it means to be human. Now, I'm personally a Carl Jung fan, and he talks a lot about archetypes. So today I was thinking about the Hermit because I felt a little bit like push all the noise and all the stressors away from me and kind of like zone in on my own space. But let me start now reading to you what I wrote today about the Hermit. The Hermit is not a one-dimensional archetype. No archetype is. His deep actualized longing to be himself was instigated by his social experiences. He dined with others, he listened to their stories at the bonfire, and he was thrown himself into the abyss of challenging himself to trust and love deeply, to build meaningful relationships. He's seen the divine fire in the eyes of another, and he's seen the pettiness in behaviors of the other. He's traveled the many roads of what it means to live and love. But no more. The calling for solitude gradually grew stronger in him. The more external triggers ensued, he started to feel the growth of his own inner compass leading him home. It's high time to introspect what he has become because of it. He paid the price for the magnitude of his experiences by letting his environment shape him into the man he is today, the decisions that followed and the outcomes that ensued. Now, the time has come to do away with relentless social activity, collaborations, and engagements. The Hermit knows he reached a point where the upward trajectory of experience must be compensated by integrating the downward trajectory as above, so below. The Hermit is ready to reflect, distill, understand the sum of all that's built up inside of him now, in total solitude, quietly and with himself. As comfortable as he might feel now to have done away with the external world, the true challenge still awaits deep within. The Hermit is not amidst a crisis, but he is on a mission to operate from a spacious calmness, to plunge himself into the deeper unknown in himself. One could say he is seeking a crisis state in order to instigate his own rebirth. He must harmonize his inner workings first by turning himself inside out and then plunging into the abyss. He is now the sole arbiter, judge, and executioner of his past and present actions. Does he have the strength to face up to his shadows, to reach the next step of what he is to become? This is no idle time. He has to pass through the membrane of memories that brought forth his persona, through the archetypal substrata of all that was triggered in him, all the way down to the deepest depths of his own darkest shadows, before he is finally able to touch the beauty of his untainted awareness. The Hermit is anything but passive. He looks deep into the light he holds in front of him. He knows that when and if he returns to the land of man, women, and children, he will not be the same. He will have crossed the threshold of what he was. He will have met himself yet again, deeper than ever before. But in order to meet himself, he must first find himself, meditate, read, contemplate, and connect the dots yet unseen. Then project himself anew from internal landscapes he hasn't ventured before, refreshed, unusual, and reborn. The Hermit is not lonely, for a truly lonely person is alone in a crowd. The Hermit already loves himself as the vehicle he was gifted by nature, the architecture that brought into this world all his achievements and failures. He needs nothing except to be alone, but with himself he is never truly alone, and that's why he's now ready. And if he is to stay a hermit in the secluded sense, he will become the transcendent one, the triage of the hermit, the magician and the trickster combined into one. The point of this write-up about the hermit archetype is to seclude yourself if you must, for ultimately the majestic tools that grant you access to your own inner kingdom are already here. At this moment, do what you must and do away with culture, expectations of friends, and even your own advice. Listen deep and act deep. Follow the hermit at times in you, if only for a week, and return anew, a little bit wiser than the person you were before. All right, that was it. Pretty long readout. At least I feel like I really need to be alone sometimes in order to reflect and then come back stronger. Now, the hermit that I sketched in this example is a way more established hermit, almost like a wise man who has seen this and done that and is now ready to go through the metamorphosis of becoming an actualized man. But in the practical sense, I think that everybody can be a hermit at particular times in his life to take a step back from all the habits and all the actions and all the recurring triggers and be like, and now it's time to be alone. Now it's time to look at what I've done and look at where I'm going and really go deep with myself, and then find a landscape in which I can project myself anew into the world and become a better version of myself. And on that note, I would like to say, I love you. This was 1 Year to Love on Instagram, the Hermit Archetype, and make it a wonderful night, a wonderful evening. Drink something wonderful. Drink yourself. I love you. Take care.